All right, Justin, thanks as always for coming in and joining us. Welcome to Dubai. Once again, before we start today's conference, we have a wide attendance here, as you'll see, but we also have a very special man on the left, Chief Executive of the European Tour, George O'Grady. I'm going to ask George to come up, make a very special presentation to you. George?
Okay. George?
You can sit down.
Okay, perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's firstly welcome here, but we thought we'd just take this opportunity, as we did last year with Rory when he came back after his great exploits. When we got one of Europe's own, who've had the season that Justin's had, and specifically winning the US Open Championship, we'd be honoured if you'd accept honorary membership of the European Tour and join a very illustrious band of major championship winners and others who've contributed hugely to the growth of the European Tour. So if you do us the honour, we'd like you to give you this special card, and you're now going to save the princely sum of about £150 a year as your membership fee. So will that make a difference?
Absolutely.
Okay. Justin, thanks very much.
Thank you, George. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sure.
We should, as Sevi would say, you should stand for this one.
Absolutely.
It's tall, man. Enjoy the week and make a big fight
Wow.
of it. Okay.
Thank you, George. Thank you. I mean, I guess I'll
See.
this really is an incredible honour. As it says, honorary life member, it really, truly is an honour. And for a kid who started his career with 21 missed cuts, I guess this means an awful lot, really. And the whole journey couldn't have been done without all the hard work of the European Tour. And it's great to be back here in Dubai. It's great to have a chance to be playing for the race to Dubai. And like I said, just really, this truly does mean a lot to me. It's been a great journey, and there's many fantastic players who have done so much for European golf who have received this honour. So it'll be wonderful for me to be able to do the same. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Justin, there's been a number of ways to start a press conference. I suppose this is one of the nicest ones for you.
Absolutely. It's very, very surreal and unexpected. I hadn't really thought that far ahead, and
You're too young.
Yeah, exactly. But I got a lot of great golf ahead of me, I hope, and a lot of great golf on the European Tour ahead of me. So I look forward to living up to this honour. Thank you.
And how is the newest honorary member of the European Tour looking forward to the final series event?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think for me the last couple of weeks have been about just keeping pace with the guys and giving myself a chance coming in here. I think last year Rory had played so well, it was all wrapped up, and even if I'd have won this tournament, which I thought I had for a brief amount of time, until he finished with 5 in a row, the race to Dubai was all wrapped up, whereas I think this year it's shaping up for a really exciting finish. And I think 2 really good weeks for me, the last 2 in Shanghai and Turkey, and I've put myself in the position that I need to be, whereas in a sense I control my own fate with being able to win this tournament is enough, but there's probably a lot of permutations of what can happen.
And your own form, Justin, how do you play today in the Pro-Am?
Yeah, I made a few birdies today. The course is in the best shape I've seen it. It's always in good shape, but it's in the best shape I've ever seen it. No divots out there on the fairways. Greens seem to be rolling a little faster than last year. It's in perfect shape and setting up really well.
Okay, we'll take some questions. Once again, Micah has the microphone. Joy, do you want to start us off? Thank you.
Justin, why don't you start with talking about that incredible putt that almost went in for an eagle last year?
Yeah, actually, I just finished my Pro-Am about 45 minutes ago on 18, and the first thing I did was I went up and tried to hit the same putt. Because in real time, I really thought it was always a great putt, but then when I watched it back on TV, it literally crawled over the edge. So I nearly had egg on my face with that one. But it was, I was nervous at the time. When I walked to the 18th tee, I was 2 ahead, and I hit driver 3-wood onto the back edge of the green, and I made birdie. And normally when you're 2 ahead and you birdie the last with a few holes to play, it's normally good enough. So it was a big putt for me and a great putt. It was the best putt I've ever missed, I like to say.
I was about to ask you, you made some incredible putts during the last couple of years. Where would that stand?
Yeah, I think if I'd have gone on to win by one, then it would have been incredibly important. It would have been a great putt. It would have been one of my best putts ever. But unfortunately, Rory did everything he had to do to make that putt irrelevant, which is, in a sense, a shame. But it was still fun nonetheless.
Phil, please, on the left.
Justin, you've over here. You've obviously been number one before in Europe. You've won the US Open this year. But how much does it still mean, and how much of a motivation is it still to try and to do it again this year?
It's a big motivation, and I feel like this is the modern era, if you like. Now knowing it as the Race to Dubai, I want it as the Order of Merit. So I'd love to do it. I've never held this trophy, even though my name's on it. I'd like to see if I'm strong enough to pick up this new trophy. And definitely, it's a big goal, and it's a goal that presents itself, I think, as the season progresses. At the beginning of the year, you can dream up winning it, but it really only becomes an option once you've played some good golf. So, obviously, this time of year, everybody turns their attentions towards it, and this is the last chance.
Yes, Jamie.
Rory, sorry.
20 minutes ago. Wasn't it?
Can you just contrast yourself, Justin Rose, when he was winning in 2007 to Justin Rose now?
Yeah, I think 2007 came out of the blue a little bit, but it was built upon strong performances in the majors, and I think I was top 12 in all the majors that year, and I think second at Akron. So it came from playing well in the right events, and this year I think I won twice that year too. I won down in Australia, which was the end of 2006, but obviously for the 07 season, and then it came from winning the final event of the year, which I remember being in a very similar situation to this. It was I think it was me, myself, Harrington, myself, and I'm not sure, Ernie maybe was injured or didn't play or something, but anyway, myself and Padraig came down to the two of us, but I had to finish top 3 to have any chance of winning, and I'd imagine I'm in very, very similar position this year, but obviously that week turned out to go my way, and it was a big thrill to win the last event of the year, to take away 2 trophies.
I just wonder if you've done the permit. I'm sorry.
But until I won the US Open, I think that was my career highlight and my career achievement for sure.
And have you done the numbers this week? Do you know the permutations?
I actually don't. I'm a little slack on the numbers, but I think I'm 225 behind Henrik, which I haven't really figured out the breakdown, but I'd imagine top 3, that's going to make enough to get past him, depending on then where he finishes. But I think just head down, play as good as you can, and I'm sure it'll become clear as the week goes on who's playing well, who's not. So at this point, I think it's going to take good golf no matter what.
Derek, do you have one?
Justin, do you think in some ways it would mean more to you to finish European number 1 for a second time in terms of validation of all you've worked on?
Yeah, I think so, for sure. I think 07 was an amazing year. It was an amazing year, but it wasn't. It came out of the blue. It was a bit of an anomaly. It was, 06 wasn't great, 08 wasn't great. It just sort of popped out of nowhere. So I think this one this year will be built on a lot more of a solid foundation, and therefore maybe means more.
Ben, did you have a question?
Justin, you mentioned the Earth course is playing faster and it seems a lot firmer as well. We've seen a tendency for big hitters to triumph here. Do the changes to the fairways and those faster greens change the dynamics slightly?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think the course probably changed. I played 7 a.m. this morning, so the greens were relatively soft, or they were very soft. But it doesn't take much here in the desert with a little bit of a breeze, and maybe don't water as much. We're only Tuesday morning right now, so you don't want to stress it out too much. But I'm hoping the case is to get it firmer. It's got every potential, and the greens are fast. I mean, they're perfect. And but yeah, it has the potential. The long hitters have prevailed here, there's no doubt. But if the fairways are running firmer, that brings the par 5s into range for probably a greater percentage of the field, which will make a difference. But I think it's about iron play for me, this golf course. The greens there's so many different quadrants to them, and over bunker, there's many pin placements are over bunkers. So if you can hit your irons high and soft and control the distance really well, that to me it's a really good second shot golf course.
John, please. Thank you.
Justin,
have you sensed what I think we've sensed, that Rory is clearly happier now? Have you sensed that from what you've seen of him in the last few weeks?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's put together some really good scores, and played with him in Shanghai, the final round, and his game looked good. He's hitting the ball a long way, and it looks under control. Every shot was pretty straight and good ball flight. So, and you know, he hit a lot of really good putts too. So, I mean, he looked like he was playing really well. And as we know, there's a lot to this game. But it looks like he's getting some confidence for sure. And that's the thing with Rory. He's always been one round away. He said it all year, but he has always been one round away from playing great golf. So I'm sure he's right there.
Any more questions for Justin? Yes, Carl at the back, please.
Just sort of an afterthought, Justin. If you looked at Rory this time last year, you would have said the lad is unplayable almost the way he was playing. And yet you look what's happened over the last year to him. Is there a cautionary tale in that for everyone? I mean, you've known your hard times in golf. How fickle this game really is. And have you been surprised at how difficult it has been for him to try and get it back this year?
Yeah, I think, probably surprised that he hasn't got it back by now. But I mean, at the same time, it just shows you that none of us are immune to sort of having a balance in our life. It impacts your golf. If someone's building a house and is distracted with that, so many players have struggled through that period of their career. And obviously Tiger, going through what he's gone through, struggled with his golf for a period of time. I mean, it takes a lot to have everything in sync. And I think that we should all take heed of that, and that's what I work really hard on in my golf and in my life, is to try and create a balance, and that's not always easy.
You think that was the main thing, obviously, this year, that all that was going on off the course obviously would have an impact on him?
Yeah, I mean, he's gone from being a great golfer to a superstar, and I'm sure there's a shift in mindset, and it probably takes us a little bit of time to get comfortable with. But the good thing about Rory is that he's a great guy. And that hasn't changed in the locker room, and it'd be good to see him back to playing well. I mean, the game needs him, and like John said, I mean, I'm not worried about him. He's hitting the ball really well. He's close. I mean, it's just a matter of time. But even in his career, hasn't never been as up and down as mine. But he's always been more. He's never been like a very consistent curve. I mean, last year was phenomenal, but he's always had the spells where he hasn't played great, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's unstoppable. So, I'm not worried about him at all.
Be honest, what did you say to yourself when he went on that streak last year to beat you?
I was like, the off season, I just wish it came a week earlier for him,
Yes, gentleman in the front row, please.
Hi, Justin. Winning in America, now that you have some time to think about it, what did it mean to you? What was the impact of that? And looking back at it, you look skyward when you won, for your dad, and also you thought about, Ben Hogan and that winning chip he also made. Can you just put that into perspective now?
Yeah, I think when you win a major, in a sense, you go down in the history books, and that's been the most amazing thing for me. And I'm still in the period now where I'm holding the US Open trophy, not the replica. Hopefully next year I'll still be holding the US Open trophy if I can repeat. But I think there's a period where when you're holding the actual trophy that Hogan and Nicklaus and Palmer and Tiger, they've all held, that makes it very special. And I still catch myself, if I see it in the house, it makes me smile out of the blue. So I'm still in that phase of really enjoying it, the magnitude of it and the history of it. And but I also feel like I've got to the point now where I've got a clean slate. I feel like it's behind me, and I feel like I've got renewed focus and renewed goals going forward. So, but I think it's going to be something. When you win a major, you don't want to take you never want it to be okay. It's all my career. I'm done. That's enough for me. You really want to kick on and win as many as you can. I think winning a major is only great to truly reflect on it at the end of your career. Just to say, when you're an old man sitting on your veranda one day, to say, okay, I was able to do it. But right now, that's not the time for me. I need to be looking forward and staying focused.
Are we all done, folks? I think we are. Justin, thanks for your time as always. Good luck this week. Thank you, George.
Appreciate it.